Welcome back to the Everybody Podcast. Today we have a special guest by the name of Kalex, or you can call him KJ, or you can call him Man with the Stories, or you can call him. Well, hey man, what do you think we need to know about you?
Just how a kid from Tuscaloosa came to Alabama A&M and just made a way for himself. Like, I think the biggest thing I took away coming to this university and coming from poverty and the struggle, I came here to embrace the culture more. You know, black people, I feel like coming up from Tuscaloosa, it was very hard for me. So once I stepped foot on this campus, I was just like, okay, I'm here to excel. I'm here to get a great education. I'm here to develop these different techniques that I thought I never had. So I see a lot of people carrying themselves around, campus, being something they're not, So one thing I always told myself, and my dad, he preached this to me over the years: stay true to yourself. Always stay true to yourself. Be the person people can come to and gravitate to. And my personality speaks for myself. Like, a lot of people gravitate toward me because I know how to carry myself, very smart, and it just, man, I think if I didn't come to A&M, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know where I'd be. Like, it was very different coming out of high school because, like I say, I went to all-white high school. So when I came here, I was just like, man, look at everybody having fun. You don't have to worry about no fights. Like, everybody just they selves, but you still have people who still have that mentality of, oh, I'm gonna be gangster. That was nothing. Like, I wasn't trying to be none of that. I knew if I wanted to make a difference for myself, let me step away from that crowd and be by myself and, get people to come to me and listen to my story, how I came up. My story is different, man. Like, when I moved to Tuscaloosa in 2009, it was just me and my mom. That my dad and my mom had got divorced. So I left my brother behind. So when I came up here with my mom, I was like, okay, this is different for me, a different atmosphere, different people. Like, my mom moved to the hood right off the bat because that's all she could afford at that time. So I'm walking around the neighborhood just trying to fill it out. My first fight, I didn't know how to fight at all. I did not know how to fight. And I got beat up real bad, and my mom, my eyes was I was just telling my mom, I'm crying to her, this is not, I don't know, nothing about this life. And, I started going down to the country with my grandfather. My grandfather's a deacon. See, that's a different type of lifestyle down in the country because my granddaddy, he's real strict. Wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, make you breakfast. You outside all night. We on the farm, building stuff. We got chicken coops. We got cows, horses. That's the life that I was, I was used to. Every time I went back to my mom, it was kind of hard because, you never know, the light's going to be cut off, water, So it's just I wasn't used to that stuff because my dad made sure we had everything before we left Virginia. So, my mom was, when they divorced, my mom was, my mom had to work 3 extra jobs just to provide for me. And then by the time my brother moved down, and then she had my sister, it was just, everything just went downhill. Everything went downhill. We started struggling real bad. We got evicted. And I told myself at a young age, I told my mom, I wiped my mom's tears, and I told her, we're never going to have to feel this lifestyle no more. I promise you. So when I left her, going into my high school, because she couldn't teach me how to be a man. So I went with my dad. My dad finally got on his feet, graduated. I made a whole 360 down there. I played sports. I played 5 sports in a year. So you had football, basketball, I ran track, and I did baseball. So I was a quad athlete. I was one of the biggest athletes down in the country at that time. So I was already prepared for life, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with our life because I was doing welding. I said I wanted to do mechanical engineering. Like I knew I was gonna do something with my hands. So by the time I graduated, I got certified at welding. I came here to A&M, did my last visit. I seen A&M had one of the best engineering programs down here at the time. So I was just like, okay, this is the school I need to be at if I want to excel. I came here to A&M, and ever since then, everything speaks for itself, man. Like, I got me a scholarship last year. I have never been on a scholarship a day in my life. I got me a scholarship for the first time, man. Shout out to you, man, because if it wasn't for you, man, like Thurgood Marshall and like speaking for itself, like, and like I say, Pondy played a big role in it because she sent me the link for QIT, the internship I did this summer, and she was just like, God told me to send this to you. He had something special for you. So I filled it out that day. Like I sat in New Dorms and filled it out downstairs. Next morning I woke up and checked my email. They accepted me to move on the next round. I had did like 3-4 interviews, and they was like, we're gonna fly you to Colorado. Nobody in my family ever been to Colorado. So that was like a whole different type of environment, atmosphere for me. I was excited. Like I threw my phone that morning. I was just like, man, life is I was so happy. So like I called my mom and I just told her like, thank you. And she was just like, what? Like, is something going on? Like my mom gets real worried when I get to talking. I'm just like, Mom, just thank you. Like, thank you for making me who I am. Thank you for making the man out of me. Like having a strong mindset. And ever since then, like my life it's been good, man. Like God's been good to me because I've been good to a lot of people around me. So He blessed me triple. So that was one of the biggest things.
That's a lot to unpack. From adversity to being true to yourself and whatnot. I think first of all, I like to unpack adversity in the sense of like, if you had like let's say stayed on like that sort of path, like okay, you and your parents were still together, you went to the PWI you mentioned.
Yeah.
Would you think you would have been as strong as you are right now, or you think those adversities shaped you to who you are, and in what sense did it shape you to who you are today?
I think adversity shaped me into who I am today. Because I think if I would have went to that PWI, I wouldn't graduated. I wouldn't, cause like all my friends, like man, my friends like they didn't know nothing about college. They wasn't trying to go to college. So like, and the friends that I did have go to college, like they graduated, like and I think the biggest thing for me was to leave Georgia, come back to Alabama, and do something, something I never thought I could do, because being at that PWIs, they limit your opportunities. Come here to A&M, you have plenty of opportunities. And that was one of the biggest things. When I seen how a lot of these people were like getting these scholarships and the way they was carrying themselves, I was just like, okay, I don't have to be like you, but in order for me to have get the stuff that you have, like the scholarships and stuff, let me change my mindset. Let me change, like, man, I called my mom one day. I said, I'm finna go buy me a suit. I'm finna go buy my first suit. Like, I'm finna start dressing, like, not to impress people, but I started tapping into that manhood. Like, I started feeling it one morning. I was just like, okay, this is how you want to present yourself. This is how you need to go out it. So that was one of the biggest things.
You also, when you would see your story, you mentioned that at a point you just kind of did it 360. So what was like that sort of, okay, I gotta buckle up?
Okay, like 2 years ago, I want to say like 2-3 years ago, I had an apartment in Madison. So I wasn't on campus like that. Like I couldn't do the stuff. Like I was failing classes. Like my mind was not how it is today. So next year I told my mom, I I'm giving up this apartment. I'm moving back on campus. I moved to New Dorms. And I was still hanging around with the same crowd I came up to school with, but I don't discredit nobody because everybody has their fall. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a different route. But my route was school. And I was determined to finish school and do something good with my life. My friends, we was sitting at his house and we was talking and just joking around and stuff. And he told me, he was like, bro, like you have something. You have you can do something great at life. Like you don't need to be sitting over here with us every day. Just because we doing something different with our life, we don't want you to fall. You know, and my friends, they tell me all the time, like, I wish I had the determination you had. I wish I had that motivation because I would have still been in school. And when they told me that, that's when I started really just, okay, let me really pick up my slack and start to get my stuff together. So by the time December hit, that's when Kiewit, you know, I got my first, you know, internship, scholarship, all together. Next thing you know, I'm doing American Society of Civil Engineers. Like I'm surrounding myself around these people, you know what I'm saying? They're older than me, but I know they can teach me stuff. And I'm listening, I'm taking in a lot of knowledge. I'm really grinding. Like, and once I started really grinding, my mom, she sent me, before I got my first offer with Kiewit, my mom sent me an internship. She was just like, it was like 2:00 in the morning. She was like, God told me to do this. She was like, KJ, I really want you to fill this out. So I filled it out. I had to write a paper. It was 25 people that submitted that paper. And out of that 25, I was one of the 4 students that got picked. So when I went to Birmingham and I started doing my internship, I asked him questions, boom, boom. The dude told me, he graduated from A&M, and I was working with him. He told me, he said, man, I see you have that ambition in you. He said, you have something. He said, you can do something special. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have to leave some of your friends where they at to evolve, to get where you know what I'm saying, where you want to be in life. And when he told me that, I have never heard nobody tell me like this, you know, believe in me. And, you know, when he told me that, everything just went good for me. That's when, like I say, Pondy sent me that, Kiewit, boom. That was the first big thing. Then I was still doing my stuff with American Society of Civil Engineers. Talking to people, my personality, like I could get people, but I didn't know how to talk. My American Society of Civil Engineers taught me like how to have that engineering terminology and stuff. So that was one of the biggest things. And if it wasn't for me surrounding myself around them people, they helped me make a 360. You know, it wasn't just me by myself. It was the people that believed in me and believed in I could do something. I could make a change in this world.
So you said coming to A&M, you had to embrace the culture. Right. So how was that journey of embracing the culture like for you?
It was kind of hard at first because, like I say, like I didn't have no friends for real. But like when I met Pondy my freshman year, I knew me and her had grew up different. So it's just like hanging around her, you know what I'm saying, seeing how she, you know what I'm saying, went about life. She was so determined. Like that was like, man, she was so smart. Like I was just like, man, like I don't even, like, I was like, man, you a strong woman. Like, I told her, like, for you to come from where you come from and do the things that you're doing, like, that's kind of dope, you know? So that would make me embrace, like, navigate more to her. Like, me and her, you know what I'm saying, takes, like, you know, see, she always, like, looked out for me as, like, a little brother. So when she started, like, taking me under her wing, showing me the things, that's what made me, okay, I can really do something. I can embrace these people to do the same things. Even like I was telling you, like when I was down in Atlanta, my homegirl, she's Nigerian. So she was trying to get her GED. And she called me one day. She was like, Kellis, I really need you. Like, you know, I need you to come help me. I need you to come show me. Next thing you know, she passes the class, turns back around, gets an internship for cybersecurity engineering. You know, so, and she credited to me to this day, like, man, she sent me a paragraph and she was just like, thank you. Like, you really are changing and helping people in our generation. And I was just like, man, no, I don't, it's all you. Take that credit and you go do something. Because I want to see people do something good with their life. No matter what they went through, no matter where they come from, you all have the same 24 hours to do something good in your life. And if I can help you, I'm going to do that. So that was one of the biggest things. Me helping the people and embracing people to do good. Like all my friends, like back at home, like I got 2 friends that just started back going to school. You know what I'm saying? All because they seen what school did for me. Everybody's path is different, but my calling was higher. So
you mentioned that Pandey helping you out, the person in Birmingham helping you out, and now you helping your friend. I don't know if you could speak towards mentorship in the sense of like people who have mentored yourself and the names you've mentioned, and then people who you are helping out, like in that sort of sense, how you kind of keeping the chain going.
How I'm keeping it going is just like going back to like my alumni and stuff, like my high school and stuff. Like when I left Colorado, like I think that whole month I was busy. I had went to my school. They called me up. They was like, "Hey, we want you to come speak to the kids." Man, I was so scared because I didn't know if they would gravitate to me like how other people, you know what I'm saying, would gravitate to me. So I went and spoke with the kids, and like a couple months later, I think that summer, 3 or 4 of them called me and was like, "Hey man, I'm going to such and such here. Can you help me?" You know what I'm saying? I want to do this with engineering, but I really want to I want to be in the office. But I was telling them like, I did engineering because I grew up. My dad was in construction. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things I did with it. Like I wanted to work with my hands and stuff. I said it could be different from you. I said, excuse me, you could sit in the office. I said you could do finances. It goes deep into what you think it is. And when they called me, they were just like, "Thank you, man. Thank you, because you opened my eyes." Coming from a small town in Georgia, I felt like you could believe in me. And I told him, I said, "I believe in you." I said, "If nobody else believes in you, I believe in you." I said, "You go make yourself and your family proud, because I know you will." And now 3 of the 4 of them just started college in engineering. You know, and all of them are black kids. Like, they didn't know the type of opportunities they had until they left there. So once they started chasing those opportunities instead of chasing the dream, that's when everything started falling into place for them. And I tell people, don't thank me, thank yourself, because you want to do something with your life. I'm just getting started. It is my job to give them the gems and the knowledge and stuff to help them grow and be successful, just like my mentor did to me.
So you mentioned that you want to make yourself known on campus. So if you were to graduate 3 hours from now, like you're going to walk over the stage, what would you want to be remembered for?
How genuine I am and my worth ethic. I'm a genuine person, man. Like, I love everybody. Like, I think me staying true to myself and helping people get to where they need to be in life, no matter, just me motivational, speaking into them, like speaking life into them. Because some people, they get here and they just, man, they feel like it's not the best place for them. They feel like they can't grow here. But no, the reason why you can't grow here because you're not stepping out of comfort, or you're not getting the opportunities that you want. And if I was to graduate 3-4 years from now, I would come back and talk to the freshman, sophomore, help them chase those opportunities. Because look where I started at A&M and look where it got me. You know? So I think that was one of the biggest things, of me coming back and helping the kids and, you know, embracing them to stick with it, because we engineer, okay, it's been times where we sit 3-4 hours in the lab just to get a project done. You know what I'm saying? It's discipline. So if I can teach them that, they're gonna be successful. Like, discipline plays a big part of everything that you do. And I think that's one of the biggest things, like being disciplined and having that structure. So
okay. So we're coming towards the end of the podcast, and we have two sections that we usually have at the end. I'm gonna let him start with the first one.
My favorite section. Your 30 second talent. It's simple. So you can do that: sing, dance, impersonation, comedy, poetry. Whatever it is, you gotta do it on the spot. Play a kick, whatever. You get singer vibes.
Alright, I gotta I do poetry.
Oh, you do poetry.
So I'm gonna do this poem I had did in a pageant, the Delta Sigma Theta pageant, and it's basically like, we do it all, we do it all, we do it all. Since the beginning of time, my heritage has been able to adapt and thrive in every culture, climate, and social economic community. There is no place I can be planted that I won't be able to produce. I can say this is a fact. We do it all, we do it all, we do it all. From working as a field hand to being Wall Street businessman. From plowing fields as a sharecropper to being a main attraction as a Broadway showstopper. From the living in homes that from living in the homes that had to have an outhouse to the skyline vantage point of a penthouse. From a Tuskegee Airman aviator to George Washington Carver, a world-class innovator. From being made from dirt and being heaven sent to being the first African-American president. We are God's chosen people. We do it all, we do it all, we do it all.
Woo! See, that's my favorite segment. People got talent.
Okay, so the last section about the podcast is where you recommend a creative that you think people should look out for. So it could be a photographer, it could be a model, it could be a visual artist, it could be a designer, just whoever comes up to your head. And then after that, you can tell us where we can find you.
A great photographer. I have to go with you, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, your content creator and how you like day-to-day life for you, and see how you just like embrace like people and like the way you just carry yourself as a person. Like, I like that about you, man. You're your authentic self, and that what makes people gravitate to you. And I think that was one of the biggest things why I wanted to come on here, to like get to know y'all. But you know what I'm saying, reach out and see like what made you like put all this together, like what made you Kamzy, you know what I'm saying? So like I think in my opinion, you are one of the best content creators on this campus. Like,
appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that.
For real.
Thank you. I've never been on this spot before. Usually people recommend other people, and now I'm like, alright, I'm gonna tag myself.
Man, like, when I see like your content and stuff, I just be like, man, that's dope. Like, I don't know nobody who's doing content like that, like at all. Like, we have content, like we have great people on this campus, but like nobody's putting it out the way you putting it out. And you know what I'm saying, I have to give you your flowers, man.
Appreciate that, man. So where can we find you then?
Oh, you can find me on IG, Kalex, KALEX 1_. Yeah, I really don't do social media like that, but you can follow me on IG. You'll see a lot of stuff I post. It's mostly like about engineering, you know, how it really came up, man. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, me letting people know how I came up and how I got to where I am today.
Right. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you guys, man, taking the time out to let me come on here and just be myself. Like, I really appreciate that. Like, man, y'all just don't know, man. Like, y'all just don't know. I had stopped him outside of the engineering building. I'm like, man, like, how can I get on? Like, I see everybody else. Like, I don't want to, you know. So,
hey, you made the time to come.
Yeah.
Scheduling and everything. So we appreciate you for coming by, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, guys.
And once again, you can follow me on Instagram at BCamC.
Olashibemi Olako.
Don't forget to like, subscribe to your mom and dad, and all that good stuff.